Understanding how to create and customize forms is a vital part of creating a robust and highly functional Quickbase application. When used properly, forms can completely change the way you visualize your data in Quickbase, allowing you to identify clear and actionable insights that lead to better business outcomes. By the end of this video, you should be able to understand the basics of creating and customizing your own form in Quickbase. But before we get into that, I just want to do a quick introduction of Juice Technologies. We've been helping Quickbase users like yourself get more value out of their applications for the better part of 20 years. We provide add-ons, plugins, and professional services that extend the native capabilities of Quickbase, supporting you every step of the way. So let's just dive right into this. Right now, I installed a Exchange application for a CRM. Now, this is a very common use case in Quickbase, so you should all be able to follow along. But first things first, I did say I want to show you how to create a form. So if you hit settings from this companies table here, you'll see the ability to add from the user interface new forms. This is super simple. You'll also find old forms from here. But you can create your new form from scratch. So if you want to start from the beginning, you absolutely can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the form that was provided by Quickbase to customize and show you the different tips and tricks that I recommend to make the most robust form possible. So let's go ahead and start by adding an element. So I'm going to go and hit the form settings in the top right. And when you click to add here, it makes it really simple to access the quick add menu for these form elements. So you'll notice from the top, there's a couple components like rich text or adding report links. But if you scroll down, these are all the available fields on this table. Now, many of these fields that are grayed out are already on your form. But what you can do is add any of the other ones, like let's say record ID, right within that specific section. Now, what you might be noticing is, Matt, why is there so much gray space on the right? You're absolutely right, and that's one of the greatest things about new forms is the ability to add a column. So you can see in each individual section, you can add a column very easily, and from there, you could also click to add, or you can use the really easy organization feature, which is the horizontal drag and drop. So I can take a whole element section here and drag it to a different column. So you can see I brought all three of those fields over. But maybe you want to just have two of those fields over there. So one thing many people don't realize is if you hit this gray button here on the top, you can actually ungroup everything that's found in this grouped element. So if you hit this chain link, this ungroup chain link, I may be able to take assign to as a user field and separate that out. So now you see I kind of put those vertically on different lines, and I can drag this back or wherever I feel is right section with ease. And I think that that's been introduced in this new section, and I find that to be visually distinct containers to be really easy to understand, and to be able to implement different sections left to right is an upgrade for sure. One of the other things I want to show you guys is the ability to add a section. Now, adding sections with the old forms was super easy. This is also super easy. So you can quickly name your section, named section, and then just as before, add those column settings if you feel is necessary. So you can call this column, named column, and potentially maybe you want a background color. All of that can help you organize your data so that your end users can follow along a workflow much easier. And then the click to add stays the same. Now you do have these section settings themselves, which you can open up this easy toolbar on the right, where you can have collapse by default potentially shown, or show column dividers if you had multiple columns, or maybe you just want to delete the section in general. So you can do that there as well. One thing that you may not be finding is the tabs. Now, tabs have really become pages. So if I scroll down to the bottom, I can hit add page here. And really what that's going to end up doing is giving me these tabs at the top. So maybe I want the company details in one tab, but I also want contacts in another. So I'm going to go ahead and change this untitled page to be contacts. And what I can do then is now find this contacts section. This is a report link to a child table. I can take this contact section and just drag it down into this other section. So now I have my all contacts here. And by doing this, now when I hit save, I can go ahead and figure out that if I go into this other page for the tab for contacts, now I can see this child table. And this child table is really important. Table-to-table relationships are a key aspect of Quickbase. So if you don't necessarily understand how to create one of these, I truly recommend going to view some of our other videos where we explained in-depth table-to-table relationships. So let's continue on to the company details. If you go back to the company details, the last thing that I'm going to show you, something that not many people know, is the ability to right-click on individual field elements. Now, when you right-click, you'll see that there's the form element settings or the field settings. Within the form element settings, you'll be able to change the specific form you're on, just like we did before. So that will just open up that easy widget form builder bar on the right, where you can customize the label options, display based off of the action that your end user is doing. So edit, view, or add, or make this read-only / required if you want to ensure that people are filling out that information. Now, if you close that out, you will also notice that when you right-click, you can check out the field settings. That's super important, especially for formula fields. Now, we'll be going into that in another video as well. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Please shoot it a like. It's going to help us reach other Quickbase users like yourselves. And if you're interested in staying up to date with future Quickbase tips, tricks, or tutorials, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can get notified whenever we drop a video. Thanks so much, and we hope to talk to you soon.